Okay, so I'm going to focus on a story of something that happened to me when I was at university. And it was a time when I was actually praying to God and just asking for direction for what I should be doing for the summer. I was conscious that uni holidays are great. You get about three months off at least. And I thought, as well as earning some money, also it'd be really good to, just offer that time to God and say, what do you want me to do in that time? And whilst I was praying, the phone goes. And so I answered the phone. And on the other end of the line was someone who was inviting me to play in a football tour going out to the States with an agency called Sports Reach. And I thought, that sounds quite interesting. Could this be the answer to prayer? But then it was quite a significant costing involved in going. And I remember kind of almost thinking, well, there's these obstacles here. I'm not going to be able to afford to do that. But in spite of that, I kind of chatted to mum and dad and told them about this phone call I'd had. And they said, well, actually, there's this fund that we've got set aside for you. You could use some of that money in order to finance you going on this tour to the States. And actually, that could be a really good use of the money. And so, okay, there's some money there, so let's go for it and let's work to earn some. And then actually some other people from church heard about the project I was doing and were really keen to back it as well. And so in the end, the money all came in to enable me to go out on this football tour to Colorado during the summer holidays. And so the main ethos of the tour was that we were out there to coach football, or irritatingly soccer, as they kept calling it in the States. And during the mornings and in the afternoons, we were there doing kind of football skills with youngsters. Lots of girls, kind of women's football in the States really had taken off in a much bigger way than men's football. But we were coaching during the day and sharing something of our faith with the boys and girls that we were coaching. Then in the evenings, we were going around Colorado playing kind of tour matches against local football teams. And on one particular occasion, we were playing against a team from the local YMCA. And we all got ready, we got on the minibus, we were kind of just about good to go when a massive thunderstorm kicked off, like thunder and lightning to the next level. It was absolutely hammering down and it just wasn't safe to travel at that time. So we held fire and it was about half an hour before this storm passed over. Eventually, the storm passes over and we think, okay, well, let's head down to the ground. We got there to discover that all the opposition understandably had probably decided the game's not going to go ahead in these conditions, so they had travelled home back to the YMCA. But the YMCA base wasn't too far from the sports pitch, so we continued our journey in the minibus up towards the YMCA, and en route we picked up one guy who looked like he was heading back, still had his boots in his hand, his shorts on. He'd obviously been there, he was a bit damp from the experience. So we said, can we give you a lift? He got into our bus heading back towards the YMCA. And whilst in the bus, we got chatting to him, and turned out he was English and was just really pleased to hear some British accents. He'd been out there for the rest of the summer and surrounded by Americans calling it soccer, and I think just keen to chat to someone who would call it football, and actually to hear some British voices. And then I picked up, hearing him chat to someone in the back, that it turned out he was actually at the same university as I was, UEA in Norwich. That was really interesting. And then when it came to the football match, which eventually did get played, we managed to gather the rest of the YMCA team, head back down to this pitch in the middle of the Rocky Mountains and play our football match. And during the game, I was on the right wing and he was on the left wing, so it meant we were kind of direct opponents up against each other during the football match. And come the end of the game, one of our players shared a bit of their personal testimony about what Jesus had done in their lives, and we all had these gospel sports tracks that we could then give out to a player from the opposition and just chat to them about what had been said. So as I was kind of sat next to him, gave him my tract and said, what did you think of the talk and the message about Jesus today? And he said, this is so weird. I said, what? And he said, well, since I've been out at the YMCA, I've met some Christians at the base where I've been staying, and I've been thinking about Christianity and what it means, and asking questions about it, and feeling like I'd like to explore it further, but just don't even know where to start. And then he said, and the thing that was really holding me back is I know at university in Norwich, I don't know any Christians. So he said, what I did was this morning, I sat on the end of my bed and I said, God, I'd like to know you're real, but I can't follow you if I don't know anyone who's a Christian at Norwich. So, I need to meet some Christians from Norwich. And then tonight, here you are, turn up with a gospel tract from my own university, 5,000 miles away from Norwich, and here you are today as an answer to that prayer. And I just thought, wow, that was kind of God bringing two people's prayers together, travelling half the way around the world to do it. But my prayer saying, God, what do you want me to do with this summer? His prayer on the end of his bed saying, I just need to know a Christian in Norwich. And since then, we kind of connected up, became good friends. He joined my home group at university when we got back. And, now, almost 20 years later, he's pressing on in faith and going deeper with the Lord. So just, really want to share that as an encouragement of how God can use our small prayers, and he sees the big picture and can bring those things together and do amazing things through our simple prayers.